All right. Okay. So in the interest of time, I think we'll go ahead and get started. My name is Katie Guthmiller. I work in recruiting and admissions for the School of Public Health. I'm also an alum of the MPH program. And I'll be kind of just getting you started today and kind of your MC of this event. So thank you all so much for being here today. Quick agenda. We're going to start with just an overview of the certificate program and how to apply. We'll follow that by some short presentations by all of the program directors. So you'll get to hear a little bit about all of the different certificates that we offer. And then we'll go into breakout rooms so you can talk more with faculty about any particular certificates that you're interested in. So little general information about the certificate. All of our certificate programs are 15 credits. Most students will complete this within 1 year. Some students who are taking just one class at a time because they might be working full-time, for example, can sometimes take a little bit longer than that, but typically about a year. And then in terms of the number of required credits versus elective credits within those 15, those kind of vary. So you'll hear more about that during the presentation portion of this. And all of the certificate program courses are going to be at the graduate level. So you do need to have a bachelor's degree in order to do one of our certificate programs. Totally okay to apply if you are still working on your undergrad degree. It will just need to be completed by the time you start. And then there are 3 different ways that you can complete our certificates. One is as an independent program. So this is great if you are interested in public health, but maybe not looking for a full master's or doctoral degree. Or if you are a working professional and wanting to learn a little bit more about a particular area of public health, this might be a great fit for you. You can also start with a certificate and then apply and transition those credits into an MPH program. So this could be a good option if you are interested in an MPH, but maybe not 100% sure that you want to commit to a full degree program yet. I want to take just a few courses to kind of feel it out. You can apply as a certificate, then later apply for the MPH program. And then the third option is you can complete a certificate alongside an MPH. And with this option, you will add 6 credits onto the MPH program. So typically our MPH programs are about 42 credit hours to graduate. That will increase to 48. And then 9 of those credits, so it'll still be that 15 and you'll still have 42 MPH, but 9 credits will overlap. So that's how we get it to that 6 additional credits. In terms of admissions requirements, I'll start here on the left. If you are applying for the certificate only, so not the MPH, just the certificate, you'll utilize our Sophos Express online application. You can find instructions for this on our website. Definitely recommend checking out our website, especially if you are an international applicant, because you will have some additional admissions requirements. You'll submit official transcripts, 1 letter of recommendation, a personal statement, a resume or a CV. And then we do have a couple different start options. We have a spring start, which the deadline has passed for that. But we also offer a summer start option. The deadline for that is March 1st. We do recommend getting your application in a few weeks prior to the deadline, just so we can make sure we have all of your materials by March 1st, but still plenty of time to go if you're interested in that. Moving over to the right side of the screen with the MPH Plus certificate option, you do need to be admitted to the MPH program or a current MPH student. And then you'll just talk with a faculty or the faculty director for the certificate program that you're interested in, just to learn a little bit more about the certificate, make sure it's a good fit based on the MPH program that you're doing and what you want to do post-graduation. And then they will have a form that you can complete. So pretty simple form. And you can start this at any time. So anytime between being admitted to the MPH all the way up to, in some cases, the last semester of the MPH program, although we do strongly recommend to add a certificate sooner rather than later, just to account for those 9 credits that do transfer over. It helps if you're not as far along in the program. These are all of our certificate programs that you'll hear from today. We will go in alphabetical order for all of the faculty presentations. So we will go ahead and jump into those. All right, we'll start first with American Indian and Alaska Native Health. Jared, if you want to unmute.
Yeah.
Awesome. Hi.
Hey. I know that there's a lot of programs to go over, so I'm not going to take everybody's time here, but just want to introduce the program to those of you that are interested. I saw a couple of folks, excuse me, in the chat. So I'm excited about your interest. I want to let you all know that I'm happy to answer any questions that you may have after this meeting. Feel free to reach out and contact me. But I think just to highlight a couple of the high points for the certificate program, this is designed to be completely done online if you're not here on campus, and if that's something of interest to you. Many of you are working full-time jobs in addition to possibly starting up a certificate program or an MPH, so we try to accommodate that. And then I think that one thing that really separates us from a lot of other programs is every course that's offered as part of the core courses for the certificate program are offered by native PhDs that have training in this area. That is just not something that's afforded to many students anywhere else. And so to have that combination of both online and having access to other native scholars who understand usually the pretty unique position that many of you that would be interested in this kind of program are in is something really helpful. And then I think also being part of the Centers for American Indian and Alaska Native Health, where many of the faculty that teach courses, we have such a depth and over 3 decades of experience of working in tribal communities, doing research, doing public health practice, really engaging at multiple levels. So I think there's a well of resources, projects, experiences that avail themselves to potential certificate students. But the certificate in and of itself is, we think, a really great addition to looking at public health and those core tenets and pillars of public health, but through an Indigenous perspective. And what does that mean if you want to enter this space? So again, always happy to answer any more specific questions, but that's kind of some of the high level takeaways. And I don't want to steal everybody else's time, so feel free to reach out to me if you have follow-up questions.
Awesome. Thank you so much. Moving right along to applied biostatistics. So Dr. Bailey Fosdick is the program director for both the applied biostatistics and the health analytics and data science certificate. Unfortunately, Bailey was not able to join us today, but I'll be presenting these slides on her behalf, and then always happy to connect you all with her via email for any follow-up questions and things that you have. So for the applied biostatistics certificate, you will gain knowledge and experience with data management, biostatistics, and data analysis with applications in a wide range of clinical and public health areas. That's one of the things that's really nice about this certificate is it is pretty flexible in terms of what you do with it and where you work after the certificate. This is an in-person program, and just to clarify, when we say in-person program, that means that at least one of the courses that you have to take is only offered in person. So it doesn't necessarily mean that every single course you'll take is in person, but you will be needing to be in person in some capacity. And then, so this program will provide graduate training in applied biostatistics for healthcare professionals and others interested in expanding their analytic knowledge and skills. And then for breakdown of the credits, you'll take applied biostatistics 1 and 2 for 6 credits total. And then a computing requirement, you can choose between R, Python, or SAS, depending on, again, what you're interested in doing after you complete the certificate. And then 6 credits worth of biostatistics electives. So again, if you have questions, I'll actually be hanging out in the main room during the breakouts if you want to kind of just hang out in the main room for any questions, and then I'll make sure to get you Bailey's email as well. All right, next we have climate and disaster resilience.
Great, thanks, Katie. So the Certificate in Climate and Disaster Resilience is a really unique program in that all of the affiliated faculty have practitioner experience. And so you can see over here on the right, myself, as well as Dr. Samantha Knoll, Dr. Charlie Little, Megan Cherwick, and David Silversmith. We're coming from an orientation where, for example, David has extensive experience in FEMA, and so he looks largely at domestic disaster response frameworks. And Samantha, or Sam, has a lot of experience in medical surge capacity, again, largely domestic, along with Dr. Charlie Little. Most of my background is in global humanitarian response, working in complex humanitarian crises. And Megan also does some global work in that space. So a lot of what we do in the certificate in climate and disaster resilience is provide case studies, experiential models, disaster simulation opportunities, a lot of hands-on pragmatic skill training. If you don't mind going to the next slide, please, Katie. So on the left here, you see some images from some of the disaster simulations that we've done. For example, every year we have a big annual exercise with about 100 individuals on the University of Denver campus. That includes live actors, and that's a simulated international humanitarian crisis model. And that's something that involves remote and in-person humanitarian practitioners also participating and training students. You can see on the right-hand side a list of some of the issues that the certificate includes. We do have an all hazards model with an emphasis on complex and cascading crises, both domestically and internationally. If you don't mind going to the next slide. And you can see here the way that the classes are structured is you have 4 required courses. One is an introduction to public health and disasters. That's largely FEMA centric, so looking at domestic response frameworks. And then the global response to disasters and climate crisis 6625. That's really an international framework looking at the humanitarian response multi-sectoral cluster model and complex crises, for example, that can include refugee camp context. It can include a range of natural hazards resulting in disaster along with civil conflict. And then we also have the disasters and climate crisis practical applications. That's where we do both domestic and international disaster simulation training and exercises and hands-on opportunities. And that includes some opportunities on the Anschutz campus at the hospital. And then finally, the climate and disaster mental health. And a lot of that involves active practitioners working in climate disaster mental health globally and domestically. It can be completed fully online, but several of the courses are hybrid with in-person components. And what we've tried to do with that is give an opportunity for some of those in-person live actor experiential simulation models to be in person, and some of the hot wash and other hospital-based opportunities. But we are very much able to and have a history of working with especially out-of-state international students, but also within state students that have barriers to in-person participation. So when possible, I would say that there are a few things I would recommend you do in person if you can, but it shouldn't be a barrier if you can't be in person to participating in the CERT, and we can certainly make accommodations. And that should be all the slides. So thank you. I look forward to touching base with some of you that have an interest in this programming.
Thanks so much, Courtney. It's always so interesting hearing about the simulations. It'd be fun to see one of those someday. Awesome. All right. Well, moving right along, we will go to the Global Health Certificate. The program director for this certificate is Dr. Madiha Abdel Maqsoud. And unfortunately, she is also not able to join us today, so I'll be presenting her slides on her behalf. And something that's a little bit unique with this certificate, as well as the Public Health Sciences certificate that we'll learn a little bit more about in just a minute. These 2 programs typically are not going to be one that an MPH student would add in addition to their MPH. All the other certificates you'll hear from today, we consider to be more specialty certificates that you would add on. Public Health Sciences, more of kind of general public health background. And then the reason that this usually isn't added on is because we do have our Global Health Plus option for the MPH program. If you are interested in global health and the MPH, feel free again to just kind of hang out in the main room for a minute during the breakout sessions, and I'm happy to kind of chat with you more about that. But if you are interested in an independent certificate program and you're interested in global health, this would be a great choice for you. So of course, we know that global health is an important and rapidly growing field. A career in global health requires investing in global health education. And the certificate can provide you with a broad base of knowledge in global health, serve as a valuable qualification and a differentiator in an increasingly competitive job market. So lots of people looking for global health related jobs, and it helps a great deal if you can have some sort of education specific to global health on your resume. And it also opens opportunities for graduate study in careers in the fields of global public health, policy, healthcare, government, NGOs, and nonprofits. So again, another very flexible certificate program that can be applied to a lot of fields. With the Global Health Certificate, there are 4 required courses that total up to 11 credits. 3 of these are available both in person and online, but we do, again, qualify this as an in-person program because there's at least that one class that you'll have to take in person. 4 credits from elective courses to round out that 15 total. And if you want any more information, you can, of course, visit our website. And then Madiha's email is listed here on the screen. And again, happy to also give that to you during breakouts. Next is health analytics and data science. This certificate, again, is led by Dr. Bailey Fosdick, and she, again, couldn't be here today, so I'll be telling you a little bit more about this certificate. And with this program, you can gain knowledge and skills in data analysis, data wrangling, and data visualization. And again, another one that can be applicable to a lot of different fields, either of public health, medicine, or research. This is, again, an in-person program with at least one course being in person. And this program helps to build your professional skill set and can help you pursue careers such as a data analyst, data scientist, or statistical programmer. And this one is a little bit flexible. You kind of have a choice between a couple of different courses in a lot of these areas. So there is an analytics requirement. Again, you kind of choose which course you're most interested in for that. A computing requirement, you can choose between R or Python, an analytics elective, a computing elective, and then 3 credits for another elective. So we have a lot of students who are interested in both this certificate as well as the Applied Biostatistics certificate. So this is a little bit more about the difference. With the Health Analytics and Data Science, or HADS as we call it for short, there's a larger emphasis on data analysis, communication, and storytelling, as well as a larger emphasis on data visualization. And then with the Applied Biostatistics certificate, there's going to be a larger emphasis on advanced statistical model building and interpretation. And again, if you are interested in either of these programs, I always recommend getting into contact with Bailey, but especially if you're a little bit torn between one of these two, she's a great person to connect with to kind of learn even more about the differences between the programs and decide which one's best for you. All right. I will pass it over to Claudia with Latino Health.
Hello, can you hear me?
Yes.
So I'm Claudia Mura. I'm director of the Latino Health Certificate Program. And very briefly, I don't think that if you are interested in the Latino health, you know why this is a very important population and demographic. It is growing. It is very prevalent in Colorado. And oh, can you pass to the next slide, please? This certificate is started under the Latino Research and Policy Center. It is still under the Colorado School of Public Health, and it is offered mostly online. However, we also coin it as, or the Colorado School of Public Health says that it is in person because it has one class that it has that hybrid component that I'm going to explain. So the focus of this class is to create, or this certificate is to have a hands-on program again to create a pipeline of professionals that are going to focus particularly in Latino health and working with the community. So we will cover aspects from chronic diseases and health disparities, health equity, and all about social structural determinants of health that are going to impact Latino health. Then we are going to touch on culturally and appropriately tailored practices and best practices. And most important, as the other certificates, because this is relevant and real life projects, you are going to network with faculty, community, and professional organizations that are dedicated to serving Latino health institutions. So the faculty both have practice in the community and years of experience in practice or in the academic. The same as the partners that we have and those mentors that you will have in some of the projects that I'm going to explain now. So as any of the other certificates, it is 15 credits. 4 of the classes are core, but 1 actually is foundation in public health. So it's the same as in any other MPH or certificate. There are only 3 classes that are core to the Latino Health certificate that are the principles offered in the fall and fully online. The community immersion, that is a new class that is going to have a community-based participatory research and community engagement components to be in the community, working with the community and learning from that. That is the only class that is hybrid because there are 3 days that are going to be in person having those activities. However, we are open and we have modeled this that for those students that are not in Colorado, we could have that potential that you have to have that in-person immersion, and we will work with students on that component. And then the mentor project is kind of a mini capstone. It is very hands-on. We will broker the relationship with the community partner or with an academician or with a clinician. And the projects are very varied, but that mentor project is the culminating piece of the certificate. Now, the electives are very flexible and they are going to tailor to your program and your interest. For example, some of our students have students that are more on global health. That with the caveat that global health also has a very heavy curriculum, so we need to coordinate so you complete it together. And if you are going to do the MPH, for example, some are more on AI, and I'm going to go into some opportunities for funding that we have for students, or in data science and that biostatistics part. Some of our students are doing the community and behavioral health masters, and they choose some of the electives around those topics as well. So again, the electives is what is going to tailor your program, and definitely the mentor project. Can I go to the next one? We are trying to give opportunities for students wanting to work with the Latino health community. And there are 2 opportunities that are scholarship opportunities and kind of 2 more defined tracks that are new. One is to have a focus on artificial intelligence and machine learning. That is a little bit more data science. So all the electives should go towards data science. And there are still some scholarships available, running out of those, but because of the timing, this has been for a while in existence, but there are some students interested. The application is very simple, but some students take that opportunity of having that focus on how is artificial intelligence or machine learning impacting Latino health, and how is data driving decisions and evidence-based practices that actually could lead to even widening the gap in disparities if there is no attention paid to that. And the newest one that we have is to have a focus on injury and violence prevention. We have partnered with the Injury and Violence Prevention Center, and we have some stipends to have either partial or full scholarship for the whole certificate. The students would apply for the certificate in the same manner, either a solo certificate or pair with the MPH. And then we could have, depending on the path and the selection of classes, they will have that scholarship opportunity that we would decide jointly between the Latino Research and Policy Center, faculty, and the Injury and Violence and Prevention Center. I think that I have 1 slide with our contacts, but otherwise you could get them from that QR code, or if you come for the next session, you could reach reach out, and or the website also has our information. Thank you.
Thanks so much, Claudia. And yeah, also, if you want to put in the chat, the faculty will kind of be hanging out here, so I'm sure they'd be willing to put their email in the chat too, if that would be helpful for contact information. Awesome. Next, we have maternal and child health. So I will turn it over to Babette.
Hi, everyone. Welcome to Maternal and Child Health. Next slide, please. That's my contact information there. We are really one of the more flexible certificates, I think. We have quite a few electives, and I'll show you that in the following slide, but you can do this program fully online, and you can also do some of your courses in person if you'd like. So our primary goal is for you to really explore the field of MCH initially, and then if you want a more specialized training in a certain area of MCH, you'll be able to get that as well. But we're teaching you about the unique challenges for women, pregnant persons, children and families, and how to promote health and safety in this population. We do have, like I said, those flexible number of elective courses. And if you go to the next slide, Katie, I can show you that. So we have 10 elective credits. And we initially designed this program because maternal and child health is such a broad field, and it covers probably every concentration and department that we have at the school. So we wanted you to tailor this specifically to your goals, your career needs, and what you're most interested in. So you will have the Foundations in Public Health course, and then you'll take Maternal and Child Health, which orients you to this broad spectrum of what is maternal and child health, the funding mechanisms, the programs, the policies. And then if you want to go into maybe more MCH epidemiology, there's an option to take a course there, or MCH policy and program management. You can do that course. You can take some MCH global health courses. So there's a lot of variation in how you design these 10 credit hours. But there are 10 topical MCH credit hours that are fully online. And then there are others that you can decide to take. Some are online and some are in person. So like I said, it's a very, very flexible program, or just because, we know where our population comes from and what they're interested in. So please feel free to get in touch with me. Here's some examples of where some of our folks go, but we know that, some are coming out of school, just out of college, and some have been out in the field and decided that they really want to orient their new career to the field of maternal and child health. So thank you very much.
Thanks, Babette. We will now move on to a population mental health and well-being with Charlotte.
Hi, everyone. Nice to see you all. Look forward to connecting after this if you're interested in the Population Mental Health and Wellbeing Certificate Program. I'm Charlotte Farewell, and I'm an assistant professor and direct the certificate program as well as the MPH and PMHW. Go to the next slide. So PMHW, both the MPH program and the certificate are one of the newest certificates and MPH programs at the school. We're actually one of the only MPH schools that has a focus on population mental health in the country. So, it's only been, unfortunately, recently where mental health has really become a big focus within the public health world. And when we talk about mental health and behavioral health, we think about both mental health and substance use. And so our certificate program, like all the others, is comprised of core courses. So in this case, 4 required courses and then 1 elective for a total of 15 credits. And it's a program that can be done in person, hybrid, or fully online. So like Babette was just saying, with the MPH program, we really focus on flexibility to encourage students from all over the states and globally to participate in our program. And the PMHW program really focuses on the application of behavioral health interventions to prevent mental health and substance use disorders. We work with students, collaborate often on research projects to develop innovative and population-minded approaches and to implement and evaluate those approaches with diverse populations. And the certificate program specifically will give you training in a variety of sort of methodologically focused areas, such as epidemiology, quantitative and qualitative methods, as well as more of the topic focused of social and behavioral health and substance use. And the certificate will really prepare you to work in the behavioral health field, which is a very interdisciplinary, large umbrella. So it sets you up to do lots of different work within the public health sphere. But the kind of underlining skill you will come out with is thinking about behavioral health through a population lens. So instead of focusing on individuals and treatment of mental health and substance use disorders, we think about prevention and population level interventions to promote well-being on a much larger scale. Next slide. And our graduates from both the MPH program and the certificate program work in many different organizations doing research, practice, and policy. So I highlighted a few here. We have folks who are doing research, working within academia and then with nonprofits in Colorado and other organizations throughout the country. We also have individuals who are in practice-based settings right now, such as the Colorado Department of Public Health and Environment, or with VIXFI, which is a mental health innovation organization, technology innovation organization, I should say. And then we have folks working at the policy level. So for example, working with the Stedman group, doing behavioral health consultation. So it really sets you up to work in many different domains, but again, with this very specialist expertise related to behavioral health and behavioral health prevention. So if you're interested in learning more, I hope to see you during the breakouts. I'll put my email in the chat as well. And I definitely encourage you to reach out. And I'm happy to connect in person or via Zoom whenever convenient for you. Thanks, Katie.
Great. Thanks, Charlotte. All right. Next up, we have Public Health Sciences with Danny.
Hi, everyone. My name's Danny Britton, and I'm going to talk to you today about Public Health Sciences. This is a certificate that's actually offered on all three of our partner campuses. So UNC, Colorado, so University of Northern Colorado, Colorado State University, and then University of Colorado Anschutz Medical Campus. This is a standalone program, 15 credits. Just like Katie said previously, you have to take a certain number of credits along the way, which is the 15, but 9 of those have to be on your home campus. Students can apply to the MPH after completing the certificate, which is unique to the public health sciences. You can apply to any MPH after your certificate, but up to 21 credits from a public health sciences certificate can go towards your MPH. So that's kind of a unique thing about this. Next slide, please. Here are the classes that are required. So biostatistics, epidemiology, foundations in public health, and then you have 7 credit hours of electives. And for those students who really come into the public health sciences certificate, who know they want to go on for an MPH, typically use those elective credits to focus on other MPH core classes. And again, the total is 15, but you can have up to 21 that you could transfer into an MPH. Next slide, please.
Oh, that's it.
That's it. Okay. So sorry about that, folks. So I'm just going to really say to folks out there, Public Health Sciences Cert is really to dip your toe into public health from a generalist perspective, to really get a taste of what you might be interested in if you are applying for MPH. And then also there are folks who are out there doing great public health work in our communities who may be interested in this certificate. Maybe your employer would like you to get a little freshen up of certain areas, or maybe learn about epidemiology or biostats, something along those lines. So we have a wide array of folks who really do tend to come into the public health sciences certificate so that you really can, again, just dip your toe into public health and get an understanding of what you're interested in. And I'm happy to answer any questions anyone may have.
Awesome. Thank you, Danny. Okay. Next is Rural Health with Dr. Rose Gross.
Hi, everybody. Thanks for being here. I'm looking forward to connecting in the breakout rooms. You can head to the next slide. Perfect. So I'm going to talk about the Certificate in Rural Public Health. This is one of our newest certificate programs in the Colorado School of Public Health, and it's based out of the University of Northern Colorado campus. So this is really designed to meet a pretty well-established need at this point for workforce development in rural areas. We know that There's a lot of rural areas in the United States and in Colorado that don't have public health professionals, don't have healthcare professionals, and there's a really big need to attempt to fill that gap, whether it's by providing additional training to folks who are already there or training individuals who plan to go there after they graduate. So we want to meet the need that our state has in particular for talented public health professionals in rural areas. 2/3 of Colorado's counties are rural or frontier, and they're also designated as shortage areas for public health professionals. So in this certificate, you'll learn about health disparities that specifically affect rural populations. And something special about this program is it's focused on community health education and community engagement as part of the rural health focus. So not just taking your own perspective into those rural areas and deciding for people what they really need, but being able to go into communities and engage with individuals and community partners to really build a partnership and understand what the best approach might be. So you'll be learning how to identify and address community health needs alongside people who are in rural communities. This certificate is offered online or in person. You've got some options there. Our online courses are synchronous courses, which is a bit different than some of the other certificates here. So that means that you will be able to engage with a community of students, even if you can't come to Greeley for those classes. So if you're out of state or if you're in a rural area, you'll still be able to take courses and connect with a cohort of public health professionals. And the great thing about those classes at the UNC campus is those are evening classes. So you're not taking time out of work or your job or your other responsibilities during the day. You're able to take those classes either in person or online from 5 to 7:50 p.m. So really trying to accommodate those working professionals. Next slide, please. Yeah, so just as others have mentioned, we have some core classes. For us, it's also foundations in public health, but then we get into health communication in the media, of course, a class on rural community health issues, epidemiology, because that's a fundamental skill set that we want you to be able to take to those rural areas. And then depending on the credits, 1 to 2 electives in order to complete that 15 credit certificate. So there is some flexibility there, but really focusing on communication, some core skills, and really understanding the rural communities. So I wanted to highlight the Colorado UNC campus because one of the benefits of being in our program in particular is our really small class sizes, which I think it really serves the people who are taking them, connecting with other peers, and also connecting with the faculty themselves. We have a lot of personalized advising and conversations to really find individuals' niches. Yeah, I'm not sure how to say that one. Your individual passion and focus, and really helping you find those connections. Again, community engagement is fundamental, and we provide opportunities to get practice at that within our core classes. I wanted to highlight a financial opportunity. This is not always specific to the rural health certificate, but it does apply to folks who might be interested in the rural health certificate. So I just wanted to focus on this for a second. It's called the Colorado School of Public Health Rural Public Health Practice Scholarship, which is a very long name, but it basically is designed to support folks who have financial need and also want to establish a public health career in a rural or frontier area in Colorado specifically. So this requires that students go after their program into rural and frontier areas and work for a few years. So if that sounds like something you'd be interested in, I'm happy to talk more about it. Again, you could be applying this to other types of certificates and MPHs, but there's definitely, I think, a really nice connection with the rural health certificate. So hopefully we can chat in the breakout room.
Great, thanks, Rose. And last but certainly not least, we have Total Worker Health with Dr. Natalie Schwadka.
Hi, everyone. Good afternoon. I'm Natalie Schwadka. I direct our Certificate in Total Worker Health program, and I'm an assistant professor in environmental and occupational health and with the Center for Health, Work, and Environment on the CU Anschutz campus. So many people work, but we don't all have access to safe and healthy work. Our certificate gives students knowledge and skills to lead change efforts in organizations, to understand what needs to be changed, to support workers' health and well-being, and to help them do that. And by health, I don't mean just the absence of someone being injured on the job or experiencing stress at work, but also health in terms of their well-being. And so thinking about the physical environment that people work in, the culture of their organization, their satisfaction with their work, how much access to benefits they have for health and things like that, and how supportive their work is in general. So our students learn how to be subject matter experts in total worker health, obviously, but we've built in a lot of other core concepts that are important for our students to be effective when they go out and graduate and work with businesses. So students learn about concepts in leadership, worker engagement, empowerment, communication, partnership building. If you go to the next slide. So our faculty have a diverse range of experiences, both in terms of research, domestically and internationally, but also a lot of experience consulting and working within businesses to help with total worker health change efforts. And all of the faculty are housed within the Center for Health, Work, and Environment, which receives funding from a variety of sources and to conduct cutting-edge research domestically and internationally. And we work regularly with local and international companies to apply the total worker health approach actively. We are also, as faculty in the center, leading efforts to build the Professional Society for Total Worker Health. So we are a faculty who is passionate about the field and building professional connections and networks amongst those even outside of CU who are learning and doing the total worker health approach. The courses that students engage in are all online, and there are 6 courses that students complete, no electives, and students have the opportunity to consult with businesses, do field visits. Some of the courses end with products that students can put on their CV and use to show to potential employers. And students all come from a variety of backgrounds, HR, architecture, public health, safety, industrial hygiene, business, etc. And there are scholarships for those who are interested in. So we have funding from the National Institute for Occupational Safety and Health to offer scholarships to students. And I would say that at least half of our students at any given time are funded by this training grant. So happy to answer any questions about the program or the scholarship process in general.
Great. Thank you, Natalie. All right.